or other advertisers. This program is sponsored by Sue Lundquist.
You're listening to an encore presentation of the Gratitude Café with Sue Lundquist. Welcome to the Gratitude Café, positive radio to feed your soul. Your dynamic host and founder, Sue Lundquist, will bring you her own intuitive talents and gifts for co-creating, healing, and teaching. Her show, The Gratitude Café, positive radio to feed your soul, is focused on bringing you to a higher place each week where you can leave the hustle of life at the door. So pull up a chair and join us for The Gratitude Café, positive radio to feed your soul.
Yes, welcome. Definitely pull up a chair. How is everybody doing? Benny, how are you, love?
Doing well, getting through it.
Getting through it.
Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day.
No way.
It's today. It's the bright side of things.
Oh,
yeah. Here,
Where
we'll add a little.
been?
Oh, no,
Okay,
I got
yeah.
you covered. I got you covered here. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Woo. Oh, everyone's going to the top of the rainbow there. Told you there's got to be a bright side this time.
Oh, that totally, that wasn't even in my awareness. So thank you very much.
That's how quiet it's been.
Wow. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. All right. Well, welcome. It's the Gratitude Cafe, and we have got, well, we always do, right? But we got a great guest today.
Of course.
Of course we do. You know, before we do that, and I know a lot of you are kind of at home or on the radio or international, so why not pull up a chair, sit back, and let's spend the next 40 to 50 some odd minutes. You know, with this show, it's important to me that you feel loved, you feel encouraged, you feel supported, and you feel like you've got a cheerleader and somebody who's got your back. And that's exactly what I intend to do for the shows and bringing guests on, whether we're doing coaching from the show, we're doing readings. Today we have Amanda Marit, and I'm going to get to her formal bio in just a minute. She is an international coach, a speaker, and she inspires and empowers lots of people, lots of women. And we're gonna talk frankly. We're going to give a lot of education. We're going to talk about love, loving self, highest self, and some realities and some fears, because we got a lot going on currently in the world. But I love how the world and the synchronicity of the world is coming together, and it's shifting. The consciousness is shifting, and it's a little bit of a hurdle, but I'm very proud of all of you for stepping through your fear and having that courage to have those conversations. And, you know, we're at home. Guess what? We get to have a break, pull out the games, talk to each other, face-to-face conversations, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of bubbles, whatever, a cup of bubbles, a glass of bubbles.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Well, you're not a bubbles guy. You have something else.
Oh, I'm a
right?
bubbles guy, just not the bubbles you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. 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 Well, anyways, so this time last year, Benny, ask me what I was doing.
Sue, what were you doing last year at this time?
I was overcoming one of my biggest fears. So, you know, last year I turned 50.
Yes.
I mean, 40.
Right,
40
right,
again.
right. No, I got you.
Yeah. So I asked my dear friends, Robert and Rodolfo, they said, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, I want to hang out with you guys. Let's just make food and drink some great wine and hang out. Well, bless their sweethearts. They took me to Arizona. Oh, I flew to Arizona. They flew me to Arizona. And then I jumped out of an airplane for my birthday.
Perfectly good airplane.
Perfectly good airplane. Can you imagine 6-foot Sue on a baby Bjorn attached to a man?
Yes, I can.
I mean,
absolutely 100%. Yes, I can.
Oh my God, that is the funniest part of it all. You know, Super Sue and a baby Bjorn. That's
I'm sure it was. I mean, we already know it was magical.
Very magical, but I want to make a very important point here. This wasn't about an adrenaline junkie kind of experience for me. This was a genuine opportunity for me to do the work that I've been doing for so many years, and the work that, you know, I travel the world with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And truly going into my heart space and keeping myself and my nervous system as calm as I possibly can in the face of fear. And jumping out of a perfectly good airplane is a really good opportunity to do that. Would you agree, Benny?
Oh, yeah. I've done it.
It was good. And then Robert asked me, he's like, so do you want to get certified? And I'm like, I'm good with this.
I almost was gonna jump in and like Robert or whoever was flying the plane at the time. Doesn't really matter, but
well, you know, and then afterwards I thought about it because I was born in Arizona. I was adopted out of Arizona, and the gentleman that I was baby Bjorned and hooked to, I said, oh my, I'm having a moment here because I literally am overcoming some fears and all that stuff, and I'm looking at the little town I was born in, jumping out of an airplane, and it was just all coming together beautifully. And the reason I'm talking about this, you guys, is because we've got quite a bit of fear going around the world, and I just want to invite and encourage all of us to take some deep breaths, get into our heart, and choose love and trust. Even though we're not quite sure what that looks like on the other side, if we can keep in that space, in that energy of love, the outcome and the frequency is going to be so much better. So,
well said.
Thank you very much. I'm going to bring Amanda on. Before I do that, really quick, I want to remind all of you about my Craziness to Clarity, the C2C challenge. And it's your template for transformation. And I created this because I had a need. There was so much information out there. And you all know I'm practical. We live in a 3D world. We have relationships, we have hurdles, we have bosses, we have in-laws, and we have emotional intelligence that we want to aspire to get better at. And that's about self-regulating. That's about reclaiming your personal power. So with the C2C challenge and your template for transformation, there's an online course, and then there's also, we're doing another program. It's launching in the next couple weeks. So make sure that you're signed up for the newsletter. It's SueLundquist.com/newsletter. You'll find all my information on my social media at SueLundquist.com. So just go in there, poke around, see what feels right to you. I want you guys to experience abundance. That's wealth of body, mind, spirit. That's vitality. That's energy. That's empowerment. And these tools will help you get there. You see how I'm living my life. I could not do it if I didn't have these tools. I would not be doing the work and traveling the world with Dr. Joe Dispenza and our team if I wasn't employing these tools and doing the work. It's just how I show up. It's my lifestyle. And I want you to have that opportunity too. So we're going to start having a wonderful conversation. Confidence, owning your gifts. And top of the hour, I was talking about our guest today, and that's Amanda Marit. And Amanda is an international coach, speaker, and intuitive who empowers and inspires spiritual women and men to step into their highest possible human expression while they are here on this earth and to live fully from the heart. From climbing the corporate ladder to leaping with no money, saved a building, a multiple six-figure year business, Amanda has supported people from all over the world through her group programs, private mentorship, events, and courses. As an intuitive, she is able to connect with the divine. I'm going to love this conversation. To guide you to move beyond your self-imposed limitations. She lives her message and inspires women to do the same. Miss Amanda, welcome, love.
Hello, Sue. How are you?
I'm good. We are so on the right vein here, sister.
Yes, I'm so excited. I actually started getting emotional when you were speaking.
Oh, tell me about that.
So it's a good thing. Yeah, I just felt a wave of love flow through. And I'm just so honored that our chat actually fell on this day with all that's happening on this planet right now. And I truly know that it's been orchestrated for us to have this conversation right now, just with all of the fear that is just running through social media and running through the grocery stores and running through the town. I don't know about where you're living, but there's so much happening right now and so much fear, and I can feel it in the air.
Yeah, so let's change that frequency. Let's come together and do that. I know. Let's do it. We're going to do it on the airways right here. I will tell you also, audience, all of us on the Dr. Joe and us team leaders and us advanced students, there's thousands of us. In fact, we blew up the Zoom. We had a Zoom international healing where, to help raise the vibration of the planet, and it blew up the Zoom. We had to open up a whole nother Zoom application because we had so many people applying the love, the energy of love. So know that behind the scenes that we are doing that, and it's beautiful work. So Amanda, yes, I do the formal introduction, but let's get to know you. What's your story, love? Let's start there. Or not your story, but yeah. Just go, love. Let's sit down, have a cup of coffee.
I've got my coffee right here. I've got my mini dachshund, my wiener dog, right on my lap here.
Oh, hi, baby. Nice.
We've got all the love pumping this morning. But this has been a common theme in my life, which, of course, because it's now what I came here to teach and share, it's my message to the world. But, years ago when I was climbing the corporate ladder, and I'm sure there's many people listening right now who can kind of relate to this feeling where you wake up one day and you look around and you think to yourself, is this all that there is? Is this what life is supposed to be? Am I supposed to just wake up, go through the motions, clock in, clock out? And is that the meaning to life? And I knew that just felt like a hoax to me. I got to a certain point where I climbed the ladder, was pretty successful pretty quickly, and I looked around and no one was happy. I was working alongside actually CEOs and presidents of the company. I worked in a staffing firm and held a management role, and no one was happy and was working around the clock. And I had to take a cold, hard look at myself and say, okay, this was once your dream, but this is actually not what we thought it was going to be. And at the same time, I was really struggling a lot with my self-worth and relationships with men. My whole pattern, my entire life was attracting emotionally unavailable men, and which obviously we know boils down to self-worth. And right? Because if you're settling for less, it's because you don't feel enough, you don't feel worthy, you aren't seeing your own value or what's possible for you. And so this was all happening around the same time, and I had this coming to Jesus moment, quite literally, where I had to take radical responsibility. So I started to, I think this is kind of the gateway into the spiritual world for so many people, but I watched The Secret and I started to just open my eyes to what else is possible. And I started to know and understand that I create my own life and my own reality. And that actually I had the power to change all of this. And so I started grabbing every book I could off the shelves about self-love, about, tapping into my higher power and connecting through intuition. And I became obsessed with angels and just the unseen world. And I started to get these downloads and understandings that I was actually here to be the change. And so I became obsessed with personal development, and I actually started writing a blog in my cubicle. And I always joke I got really good at the keyboard shortcuts because I would people would walk behind me and I would be hiding that I was writing spiritual articles for my blog and researching things online and becoming so obsessed, like literally drinking it all up. And I had a radical transformation of really learning how to truly start to love myself. Because as you know, it's not an overnight thing. It takes some time.
Oh, gosh,
right?
Yeah. It's not a big pill mentality. It is not McDonald's, people. No.
It's not a one and done. I always say it's not an overnight thing. It's an ongoing process. But I started to feel different within myself, and I started to see that maybe there was a higher picture here. And I started to know and understand that I could actually heal from the past and that I could change my reality by healing the very things that were keeping me stuck. And I call myself a heart alchemist with my clients. It's like we can take anything, right? And we can actually plug ourselves into the embodiment of the heart, and we can get an instant visceral shift. We can feel and know life differently in an instant when we get there, which I'll talk about. And so, you know, long story short, otherwise we'd be here forever. I now have grown a thriving business, being able to help people all over the world internationally. I actually also have my own coaching certification, which I didn't throw in here. And I really help people who came here to live their purpose and to live as their highest and best selves get there. And for me, it's been through the heart. It's been through knowing who I am on a deeper level, which means that I'm so much more than this body, right? We are all extensions of Source. We're all extensions of Divine. That we're literally, I get shown this all the time, as Divine being this tree, and that each of us are just branches on the tree, that we are actually a part of this higher presence. And as we can know and understand that, then life can shift and we can create anything that we want from that space. Because we know, too, that anything truly is possible when we remember who we are at our core. And so that's my why. I became obsessed with it, obsessed with helping people to heal from their past and step into their potential. Yeah, because I believe that this life is supposed to be lived fully and that we're supposed to laugh, play, enjoy, adventure, that we can truly call forth anything that we want to create. But first we have to get out of our own way and stop living in fear.
Getting out of our own way. Oh, I love what you said about radical responsibility and radical accountability, because I'm sure you can attest to this, Amanda. I know I can from my own self journey. It's a lot easier to keep your head in the sand. It's a lot easier to have denial and not even realizing that you're in victimhood.
Yeah.
There is a massive society that you don't see it. You don't know that language. You don't have that neural pathway that says, oh, sweetheart, you are in victimhood. And then they get offended or they take it personally. So there's this whole different spiral happening. I'm sorry, you were going to say something, love?
No, it's so perfect. I love exactly what you just said. Well, there's a turning point for me I want to share in case this can help people, give them an example of the victimhood, how I was living in victimhood and then decided to take responsibility. Well, as I mentioned to you, I was attracting all these different emotionally unavailable men, and there was a time in my life where I was dating someone and I saw him with somebody else. And in that moment, it sparked so much anger within me, and it actually turned a switch on for me. And I realized that I had been creating this. And so instead of blaming him, I decided to actually do something about it. To know that, you know, it's not a why me anymore, because I've done that over and over again, and that's gotten me nowhere. And so let me try something new and actually see if I can maybe shift something that I am doing or shift how I am being and shift my perspective and see what else might be possible when I step out of my own story that had been running around, oh, these are the kind of men that are available, or this is all I'm worth, or this is all that's possible for me, or why does this keep happening to me, universe? And that's a very disempowering way to live. And that's the only reason why my life has shifted and why I've gotten to where I am today is because I stepped out of my own victim story, even when it was hard to do, because that's truly what it's going to require.
That's the fear, brothers and sisters. Yeah, it is. That is the unknown. That is truly the unknown. And your nervous system is like, doesn't feel right. Well, of course it doesn't feel right because it's the unknown. That's where we want you to go. And I don't know about you, Amanda, but when clients come to me or friends or, you know, people, it's like, oh my God, my life is just unraveling. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Yes, let's go. Yes. And they look at me and they're like, wait, what just happened? Like this whole weird look on their face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, wait until you see what happens. Okay, so you've got all this chaos and everything's going crazy. Let's get dirty. Let's go to work. Are you committed? Right?
That's so beautiful. I always say celebrate because it's coming up to leave. It's coming up to go.
Say that again. That's beautiful.
Feel it. Take it. Use it. I'm like, this is the moment where it gets to change. But you have to decide first. So decide and then let's celebrate. This is the moment where we get to heal and move forward and create something else. Coming up to go.
Coming up to go. Yes. I love that.
Yes.
Good stuff. Okay, so decide to celebrate. And audience, yes. I want you guys to ask yourself, because Amanda gave you a really good example for herself, and I think I've done that as well. Where's your accountability? Where's your responsibility for yourself? And again, audience, both Amanda and I are coming from a complete space of compassion and love. This is non-judgmental, and we both know that there can be triggers, and we both know that if you're in a space, a very vulnerable, sensitive space right now, you could be taking these questions personally. So I would like to invite you to just, and you may really like this, Amanda, I coined this, have the CCs in life, compassionate curiosity. It helps to take the sting. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, it helps to really take the sting out of that. That I've coming from fear to now I'm taking personal responsibility for my actions and my behaviors. And I love that language, radical responsibility, radical accountability. And the audience knows this when there's a stage, there's stages of awareness and education that I bring my clients through. And it's the awareness. First and foremost, everything like what we're talking about is having the awareness that I'm in fear, the awareness that I'm in victimhood, awareness that I want to be courage. I want to have courage. I want to take responsibility and accountability. Then you seek out the education. That's exactly what you did. And myself too, because you had this radical awareness. And then after the education, you're processing the new education. You need time to chew on it. You're going to figure it out for yourself. And then after that, you're going to integrate all that and how it feels right to you. So there's levels and different processes that you're going to be going through. So again, have the CCs in life with yourself. Let's talk about owning your confidence. Can we talk about that?
I would love to. Yes.
Oh, goody. Thank you.
Because I think there's also a little bit of confusion on maybe sometimes what that can mean. You know, confidence is definitely not arrogance. Confidence, to me, true confidence is when you are actually being your fullest expression. And to me, it's very heart-centered. It's you owning the gifts that you came here to share. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a teacher, coach, inspirer. But owning things from the heart, owning who you are as a person, and being able to actually have the courage to step forward and create the life that you want. And to know that you're worthy of having it. I think it all actually does really, for me, it's always boiled down, I don't know about for you, Sue, but to self-worth.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Are you kidding? Yeah. Hands down. Hands down.
You're like, yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I can hear the audience, the energy just went, yes, oh my God. Yeah.
And so this is something that I've had to work on so much over the years. I did not just walk out of the womb feeling confident. In fact, it was the polar opposite. I was the kid that hid behind my mom. Even in high school, I couldn't raise my hand in class. Even in college, I couldn't even raise my hand in a group setting. And it's, let alone now I'm speaking on stages. Now I run, groups of women internationally. It's crazy how much you can shift. So wherever you're at today, if you're feeling, well, it's easy for them, look at them. Please know that I am not the version of myself that I once was. And wherever you're at right now, you can shift anything. And I loved what you said, Sue, about having compassion and curiosity. And compassion is huge. And also making sure that we're not judging ourselves throughout this, because it can be easy to do that. And
totally. Going down that rabbit hole. Absolutely.
Yeah. And to know that you are not your past. You are not what happened yesterday. You are not who you think you are. You are so much more. You're so much more. And so for anyone listening, maybe we all just take a collective breath in right now for anyone who's listening. And let it out. And we can just invite your heart to open in this moment to yourself and to life. And I love to just take moments to do that, to get reconnected to myself. Whenever we're having these discussions, it just kind of helps move some energy a little bit for people too.
Oh, for sure. I set it on my calendar. So it pops up and surprises me. Yeah. But I do it like on 111, 222, 333, 444. Because of course I want to do that. It's a higher vibration number. Yeah.
We are soul sisters.
Yes. I love that.
So very much.
And I love what you said, Amanda, about you're the version of yourself. You're not what you were yesterday. And that really hit true to me, because people look at us in the public eye and they're like, oh, well, yeah, you can say that. That's easy for you. And I'm like, no. No. But let's back up a minute, because I, like you, and this journey started multiple years ago, whatever. And then the universe decided I was going to be on radio. I'm like, what? That was never on my radar. And I'm like, oh, you mean then that I have to speak my truth? What is my truth? Oh, wait, what? Confidence? Oh, all of that comes up. But I say this to our lovely audience, that Amanda and I both walk the talk. We would not be here today talking about what we're doing if we were not walking the talk and continue to do so. This isn't something that I'm going to stop, because emotional intelligence and keeping that transformation going is an ongoing process. Go ahead, Amanda. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Segued a little.
No, you're perfect. It's truly a daily commitment. You know, I always tell that to my clients. There are no quick fixes in this, because what happens is our mind starts to bring up old memories, and it starts to bring up the past, and it tries to keep us safe, right? And to me, it's a daily commitment of aligning to my heart and aligning to who I am, and choosing to be very mindful about how I'm living my life, and that when things come up, I actually take time to sit down and work through them instead of kind of steamroll over them. And it is a commitment. And people always ask me, Amanda, does this get tiring for you? I'm like, you know what? No, not actually. It does not get tiring. You know what's tiring is living your life asleep. What's tiring is actually going through the motions and living a life that does not feel on fire. You know, that to me is exhausting.
Okay, can I talk about that really quickly, because there's something juicy and sexy right there, because I know when I first started my journey into self-discovery, taking responsibility and accountability, there was, but I think now that I look back, it was my nervous system going, yeah, that doesn't feel right. Well, of course it doesn't, because you're changing, right? But yes, there was aspects of that I was exhausted, because I kept having to change my neural pathways, change my attitude, change my behaviors. And there's that chemical reaction our body gets addicted to when we are in fear. We're stuck in that drama. There is a reaction that our bodies are addicted to. So to combat that addiction, there was, for me, a bit of overcoming that. And there was points where I was like, oh my God, I got to do this again. But you do it. You have to keep going, right?
Yeah.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Of course I do, because there's those moments of, I thought I already looked at this. I thought I already went there. I thought I already
come on.
This.
Yes.
But there's other layers to it. And this human journey is exactly that. It's a journey. And so it definitely requires patience and perseverance and like lots of compassion. And so sometimes, and I'm sure, Sue, you get this too, clients will say, I must suck at this. I must not be very good at this, because it seems like I'm the same stuff is coming up over and over again. And sometimes it's just another layer of fear or another story that's coming up, and just another opportunity to keep loving yourself through it all. And eventually you do change the neural pathways. Eventually you do start to fuel and light up, you know, a different version of yourself. Eventually you really do start to look in the mirror and say, ooh, I got it going on. I do love myself. You know, eventually you do start.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Absolutely. And I can hear people go, wait a minute, look in the mirror and appreciate myself. I'm like, yeah. When was the last time you did that?
Yes. And it might take a little bit, but I used to not be able to even look at myself in the mirror and find anything good that I could say about myself. And now I make it a
both. Yeah.
And
do you find this? Do you find that people are shocked when they say you had a confidence issue? Because I do.
Yes.
I'm like, oh yeah, I had zero confidence, zero worth, because I was, and then part of that, I'm a recovering people pleaser, but that was because of my self-worth and my lack of self-confidence.
Same, girl, same. And you know how many women, and men too, of course, struggle with this. So many, this isn't the epidemic that we've not been paying attention to. What if we paid attention to this epidemic?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
With that, Miss Amanda, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Yep, audience, I hooked you. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about more self-worth and confidence with the wonderful Amanda Marit. Sue Lundquist here with the Gratitude Cafe. We'll be right back, you guys.
Give me your attention, baby. I gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, ooh, you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call. The C2C Live Challenge is your way to sustain your mindset after transition and your soul's desire to create and sustain your life on your terms. 2020 is going to be huge, so get yourself set up right now. With this achieved, you will have real-life practical tools and self-regulation, and have the answers to self-sabotage, stop being taken advantage of, saying a respectful no, and so much more. You can do all that while you're taking care of yourself and loving the whole. For more information about the C2C Live Challenge, visit SueLundquist.com/the letter C, the number 2, the letter C, 2020 SO number 2. That's SueLundquist.com/C2C 2020 SO number 2. The C2C Live Challenge. Do it for you.
Going against the grain has never been this much fun. Alternative Talk 1150.
You're listening to an encore presentation of the Gratitude Cafe with Sue Lundquist.
You're fine, so fine, fine, so fine. Ooh, wow. Oh, girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh, mine.
Oh, I love. We have Amanda Marit, and we are talking self-worth. How about claiming your fullest expression? What is that fullest expression? What is courage? Do you guys, or have you, taken radical responsibility, accountability, or are you still stuck in that victimhood? Why is this happening to me? And I say that with love. Both Amanda and I both say it with complete love and no judgment. We want you to reclaim yourself. We want you empowered. We are here to cheerlead you. We're here to share our stories. We're here to share our experiences to help you overcome, and to, quite honestly, it's kind of that squeaky wheel or that thorn that just kind of is going to keep ticking in your head and go, oh, that Amanda gal and that Sue gal said something that really resonated with me. You know what? I'm going to keep exploring that because that feels different. You know, we want you to explore that. We want you on the other side of that fear. Miss Amanda, welcome back. Sue Lundquist here. Amanda, you know what? We were talking so much. I want to make sure that we give the audience how they can get a hold of you. And then in a little bit, you guys, I'm going to talk about Amanda's free gift that she's offering the audience. So make sure you stay tuned, and I'm going to get you that free gift from Amanda. Amanda, what's your website and how can they get a hold of you, love?
Sure. Thank you for that. My website is amandamarit.com, and Marit is spelled M as in Mary, A-R-I-T as in Tom. And if you want to join me live every day, I'm on my Instagram, and they can find me at the Amanda Marit on Instagram. I'm on my stories every day, sharing guidance and wisdom and interacting with my audience. So if you are listening to the show right now, slide into my DMs, and I would love to just give you some love and say hello.
Oh, for sure. And that's the Amanda Marit. I'm going to spell that out. It's at, and then TheAmandamarit. And if you guys are already connected with me, you'll see where I've tagged her, and she's actually responded. So make sure that you guys go on there and go message her. Okay, before we left, we were talking. What were we talking about? Because then we were talking about all kinds of other stuff.
I believe we were talking about radical responsibility.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes.
Yeah, radical responsibility. Yes. And then emotions, how emotions expand us. Because during the break we talked about, well, we'll keep that conversation at the break private, but between that conversation and just having the emotion, Amanda and I were talking about having emotions that come up, audience, fear, sorrow, tears, sadness, whatever that is, those are genuine emotions. They truly expand us. This is what Amanda was saying. Emotions do expand us, and I'm going to let Amanda talk to this, but it is important that you do feel them. Do not shut them down. Amanda, why don't you go ahead and take it, love?
Yes. So I know we were talking about taking radical responsibility and choosing to step forward and, rewiring our neural pathways. We started to kind of talk about that a little bit, about choosing to really step forward and become who we desire to be. Along with that is, emotions are going to come up. Fear is going to come up. And to really make sure that we're actually allowing ourselves to feel those things, but not wallow in them. Because I know, Sue and I were talking a little bit about this privately, it's important to really allow ourselves to we can actually let our emotions expand us instead of take us down with them. And so what I like to do is when I'm triggered, let's go back to that example when I saw the man I was dating out with somebody else.
Yes.
Here's how I would kind of run myself through this now, is I would take a moment to honor what was coming up and not try to spiritual bypass over that and say, oh, someone better is coming, let me just ignore that and move forward, or brush it under the rug. No, I take a moment and I lean into those emotions and I let myself cry. I let myself be angry. I let myself feel it. I let myself express, and I let it out. And for me, I've kind of always been this way. I like to just air things out and then move on. And so I might take and there really is no timestamp on this. Sometimes it takes a few moments to feel something pass through you. Sometimes it's an afternoon, an evening, depending on what's going on in your life and how much this is bringing up for you. But the other part of it is, as you're feeling it, it's knowing and understanding that all of it's happening. It's happening for you if you choose to see it that way. It's happening to help you to let go of something. As you said, celebrate that it's coming up to leave, that maybe this pattern this is where it gets to end if you choose. So
I love it. I call them opportunities. Yeah. It's just an opportunity. Yes.
And along with that, because I'm being shown to share this, is that everything that triggers us is teaching us something. And if we, in that moment, we can start to ask ourselves, ooh, what is life trying to crack me open into and teach me right now? If we can instead step out of, again, the victim mentality and empower ourselves to say, ooh, let me learn this lesson. Let me see what the gift is. What am I uncovering about myself? Or what parts of me need to be healed and loved on in this moment? If we can really grab a hold of that and learn it, then we actually stop attracting those things into our lives.
Now, audience, hang on a minute, Amanda. That was sexy, juicy, sexy alert here. Okay, guys, did you hear that? It's so important. What are these opportunities? What are these hurdles? There's language around that. I call them opportunities. You may call them, the universe hitting you upside the head, whatever. It could be fear. It could be an argument. Whatever it is, I call it opportunity. Lean into it. Learn from the lesson. This is you showing up for your life. This is emotional intelligence, you guys. This is you leaning into that moment. Feel it. Learn from it. That right there is the emotional intelligence. So you can learn from it and not say, why is this happening to me? I wanted to make sure I discerned that. Please go ahead, Amanda.
No, it's really, really, really important. And so I've actually started to live my life that way. And I say, oh, this is triggering emotion or sadness or feelings of I'm not enough. Well, this actually doesn't mean anything about that person and what they're saying to me. They're actually just touching a wound that I need to take some time to love on and heal and to question why I think that in the first place. Why do I think that I'm not enough? Or why did I attract this into my life? And that can be really hard at first, because you kind of want to go into defensive mode of, well, I would never attract that. I would never ask for that to happen to me. And no, we didn't ask for it, but something within our energy has called that forth, because as we know, what we attract is based on how we're feeling and what we're being and what we're believing about ourselves. And if you don't believe that you're enough, you're going to attract forth relationships, bosses, people in your life to reflect that back to you. It actually has nothing to do with you not being enough. It's your belief that you are not enough. And so anytime I get triggered by something, I actually now take responsibility and say, oh, they're showing me, they're revealing to me a part of me that doesn't think I'm enough. Huh, interesting. Let me go ahead and just love myself through all of this. Feel what is coming up, allow myself to feel it, and then ask myself, what part of me doesn't feel enough that I attracted this into my life? And I just start to use it as information instead of something that pulls me down into a pile of shame, if that makes sense.
Oh, are you kidding? It sure does. Oh, the shame and the guilt. Oh, yeah. I actually got a tattoo because of that. I use the language keeping me above the line. And and it's so funny. You'll appreciate this analogy. The audience, I think, has heard this before, and friends that are listening. And P.S., we're getting people going, I love this show. This is amazing. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you for shining your light and showing up. So it was so funny. And then, of course, us as people that are doing the work and coaching and speaking to this work, I can still make mistakes. I can still spin out. And it was so funny. I was like, you know what? I really want to get a tattoo and something that really inspires me and keeps me on track. And I went to my daughter's here, draw a little heart for me. I went to some really dear friends. I said, draw a heart. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I'm going externally to get that validation of somebody else saying that they love me. And I'm like, wait a minute. Come on, sis. So what I did is, in my cursive writing, I wrote, I love you, and drew a line underneath it. And the tattoo artist copied exactly that. So when I look at my left wrist, I see in my handwriting, I love you, and then the line to stay above the line in love and trust and gratitude and courage. How awesome is that?
That's beautiful, sister. Proud of you for stepping in there.
Boom! Drop the mic. So done. But yeah, and go ahead, love.
I was just going to say that's such a good example of how we can redirect ourselves out of fear and back to love in that moment.
Absolutely. And like your breathing too, take a moment. Earlier, you guys, we were giving some superpower tools. Amanda was talking about just take that moment. Just take that moment. If you have a trigger that comes up, that trigger can look like fear. So you have to be in a state of awareness. That's first and foremost the number one thing, because state of awareness, that's emotional intelligence. That's you being in awareness and taking radical responsibility and radical accountability for how you are showing up personally, emotionally, energetically. So when that trigger comes up, take a moment, lean into it, feel it, and then express it. Take some deep breaths. And we also talked about reminding yourself on the calendar at 222-333-444 to take that breath. Are you in your heart? That's I do it. It's a really good reminder for myself. Yes, go ahead, love. You had something to say?
Ooh, I just get excited. I'm having all of these ideas and all of these thoughts.
Go, run with it. Go, run with it, honey, run.
There's just so much. So one tool that I've been given to as well to take on the go is my heart open or shut in this moment? It can be really easy to shut our hearts to ourselves, to other people, to life. When we've gone through things in our past, it can be really easy to close ourselves off. And I think the miracle happens when we're able to actually keep our hearts open when we most want to shut it. And so take that tool with you, even when you're driving in the car, or you're in the grocery store, you're thinking about something and it's taking you down a hole. Ask yourself, is my heart open or closed in this moment? And that in itself will shift you into this kind of miracle, heart-centered consciousness. And to me, I always say, the heart is the portal to our highest self.
For sure. Totally agree. What about all those that are running around the grocery stores and the Home Depots and all of that? And they're on autopilot because their fight or flight, their nervous system is, oh my God, I got to get food for the kids. Oh my God, I got to find toilet paper. And this whole joke about toilet paper, for heaven's sakes, I couldn't understand what was happening. I had to have somebody explain it to me. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I genuinely, because I don't watch the news. I'm like, wait, what's happening?
Well, I have a funny story about this.
Go ahead. Yes,
so
please, go ahead.
I actually needed toilet paper.
Ditto. I did too.
I needed it. And I went out. There's none at Whole Foods, so Whole Foods is the closest store to me. So I went to another grocery store, and I prayed to my angels. I'm like, you guys, there better be toilet paper in this grocery store. I am manifesting some toilet paper. And I was very firm about this. I walk in the grocery store, there are carts everywhere, people in line. I'm like, ooh, I don't know about this toilet paper. So I go down the aisle. I swear to you, I got the last 6-pack of toilet paper on the top shelf. One pack left, sitting there for me. I'm like, thanks, angels. I totally manifested that.
Oh,
and
I
also,
love that.
What about the people that actually needed the toilet paper and could not find any? Because I live in a very small town of Laguna Beach. So there's only a few grocery stores in town. And I can only imagine. It was just funny because I actually needed it. And there's other people that were stocking up for like a year.
Oh, yeah, I did too. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I actually need toilet paper because I was getting ready to go travel for a few weeks. And I'm like, I'll wait till I get back. So I didn't really even think about it. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, because all the travel and everything got canceled. So I'm like, oh, I got to restock. Oh, P.S. I need toilet paper. Nope, nothing, nowhere. So a friend of mine gave me a 6-pack, it's totally fine. So we went from courage of yourself, taking radical responsibility, to toilet paper. Yes. Hey guys, can I do self-love here? We have small business owners, we have small restaurants, we have boutique restaurants. These people are doing their darndest for safety and handling. Let's show our love. Amanda and I were talking about opening your hearts. I invite you. It is my intention. It is my desire for all of you to support these local boutique restaurants wherever you are. You can order the food. They will carry it out. That's all you have to do. Let's love on and support our community. We were talking about that at the top of the hour, about opening our hearts and how this epidemic is changing the footprint of our community. Let's open our hearts to these people. Get takeout food, you guys. Take a night off and just go and grab the food and go. Right, Amanda? Yeah, for sure.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to get some carry out tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Just to keep supporting them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Belief that you are enough.
Yeah. And especially during this time. I also want to point out with the toilet paper, Sue, you were still supported by the universe, even though it looks like you weren't going to be. And I think that's something really important to grab a hold of too right now, to know that during this time we're all worthy of still being supported, and that we will still be supported throughout this time. And how can we open our hearts to ourselves and feel any emotions or fears that are coming up in this moment with what's happening in the world, but also stay rooted in our hearts during, this time for others as well. Even those who are running around crazy at the grocery store, whether you're that person or not.
Amanda, let's do this. Let's give the audience a challenge. Yeah. I'm getting tingly all over. Literally, I've got goosers all over. Audience, ooh. I want you guys, and hear me, I want you guys to make eye contact with those people, and I want you to send an open-hearted love and vibration. When you're in the stores, when you're at the gas station, at the barista, wherever you're at, when you're picking up your food to go because you're going to get takeout food tonight and tomorrow and the next day, whatever that looks like, all these people and these strangers, we're all, as a community, as a whole, as a world, we're all in this together. Let's genuinely look at each other in the eyes and take those moments of connection and genuinely love. I challenge you to do that. I want to hear from you. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. I love that so much. It's so important.
Much. Okay, we got about 4. It is so important. We got about 4 minutes, love. Where would you like to take this?
Well, I want to kind of talk just a little bit more about what's happening right now and to just shed some light on that too, Sue. I have a feeling you probably see this the same way as me, is that just with everything that's happening right now, talking about living from the heart fully and understanding, is just knowing that right now hearts are being cracked open, and that this, not to downplay what's happening because it's horrible and this is something that we wouldn't have created for ourselves. But I also know, because I've been shown this from a higher perspective, that there's so much good that's actually coming out of this as well. That people are actually being forced to look within and take some time away and step aside and to really come back to what's important to them in life. And I believe that this has been a divine orchestration, and that although, again, that we don't want to turn a blind eye to it, we want to be aware of what's happening, but at the same time, we can still be grounded in peace. We can still be grounded in love. We can still be grounded in I am supported, right? We can still live from the heart during this time, and that is actually what's going to heal the planet, is through living in this way. Could you imagine if every single person lived from the heart, we wouldn't have created this disease. We wouldn't have called forth this experience. Because, again, the real epidemic here is people not living from their hearts, in my personal opinion. And so this work today that we're talking about is so important, and it absolutely applies to what's happening right now in the world. And I believe we can prevent this in the future. If every single person on this planet lived from the heart, what kind of world would we live in? You know?
And if audience, I hear them asking the question, well, what does that mean, living from your heart? How do I do that? If I am riddled in fear, if I'm still addicted to my emotions, how do I do that? How do I overcome that? Because go ahead, love.
Well, it's first taking that radical responsibility that we talked about, really, as a
so
step
lovingly
one.
encourage you to do.
And you just got to be willing. And I have a feeling that after this conversation, so many of you are like, yes, I'm ready. Is taking radical responsibility for how you are feeling and who you're choosing to be. And from there, it's starting to even ask yourself, how can I keep my heart open or closed in this moment? Or how do I keep it open, not closed? How can I open it in this moment? And a lot of that looks like self-compassion. Compassion not just for yourself, for others. Forgiveness is a way to really get into the heart, which could be a whole nother episode we talk about.
Oh, yeah, which we're going to. We're just going to have to make it all work, yes.
Gonna have to, yeah. And to really see things from that higher perspective and that unity consciousness, that we are all in this together. And the more you can just choose to say, how can I lead with love in this moment? How can I show up with love in this moment for myself and for others? Then your life will start to become a reflection of that love.
I love that. And that frequency and that genuine, they will feel it. If you're not in alignment, if it's not coherent, they will feel it. So it's important that you get very clear in that love for yourself. Now, am I saying right in that moment, everything has to happen and you got to choose? It's going to be an evolving process, but love is love, and opening your heart is it. And there's been so many times that I've witnessed that I'll look at people right in the eyes and I will genuinely engage. That's one of my superpowers, is just nobody else in this world. I'm looking at you. Let's go. And you see the energy, you see their heart, and that, oh my God. And you see their heart opening up, and it's so beautiful. So I invite you guys, and I'm encouraging you guys to hear what we're saying. Open your hearts. Lead with love. Choose love and trust, even though we really don't know all the time what that looks like. And oh my gosh, we've already run out of time. Okay, AmandaMarit.com. You guys will get all that information on my website. Yes, I already see the notes. I will ask her to come back. We will have that conversation later. Please go to her Instagram account, and that is the Amanda Marit. She does daily talks and podcasts as well. She's got her own curriculum and coaching practice as well. She's offering a free download. I'm going to post this on my Facebook and my website. So you guys got to tap in there. Amanda, it's been absolutely beautiful. I'm so sorry we ran out of time, and I can hear Benny going, we got to wrap it up. Love you all to bits and pieces. Choose love. That's the biggest message. Choose love and trust. Until next time, each of you are a gift. Get out there and share yourself with the world.
If you like the show, help more people find us by adding your review of the show on iTunes. The more reviews we get, the more people we can reach with this inspiring message on the Gratitude Cafe. Simply search for Gratitude Cafe in iTunes, hit subscribe, and add your honest review. It would help us immensely and we'll be forever grateful. It's one of the best ways you can give back to the show with your review. Thanks for tuning in to the Gratitude Cafe. Don't forget, every week is a new show, and you could submit your questions at SueLundquist.com/Gratitude Cafe. The show goes live at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in Seattle on Seattle's Alternative Talk AM 1150. You can also call in to the show at 425-373-5527 or 888-298-5569. Find the live streaming link at SueLundquist.com/Gratitude Cafe. We'll see you next week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of KKNW, its management, or other advertisers. Contests are the responsibility of the host of this program and not KKNW. This is Alternative Talk 1150 AM, KKNW Seattle, and KNUC 98.9 HD3 Seattle.
And good Tuesday morning to you. Benny Mathers here for a look at your Alternative Talk AM 1150 traffic update for around the sound. We'll go thank folks again. So far, no major blocking or accidents to report at the moment. A little few more rain showers up here to the north end, up on the east side, Newcastle, Victoria, Bellevue area. 405 northbound in the traffic. It's heavy around the interchange of 169, up through into just before Northeast 30th Street, but smooth through the Newcastle area. Everywhere else, again, traffic's looking pretty good. Stay tuned. Coming up next, after the news and weather, it's Love Has Many Faces with Marilyn Milano. Her guest is Annette Lenker from Holy Cow Critters, followed by the 425 show with Nicole Mangina. And she welcomes Sherry Gazette with Teen Wise. Stay tuned.
Special report coronavirus update. Reopening warnings from health officials reminding Americans to stay vigilant in the fight against spreading the coronavirus. Here's correspondent Jim Roop.
A number of states, more than 24 of them, have reported an uptick in cases as the easing of restrictions continue across the country and around the world.
A hallmark of coronaviruses is its ability to amplify.
This is why, says the WHO's Dr. Maria Van Kerkhoff, while we get back out there, and we should, physical distancing, face coverings, hand washing, all the things that enable the lifting of restrictions in the first place must continue to be practiced. Even if you believe you can't be infected, it's not about you, experts say. It's about protecting others. I'm Jim Roop.
Brazilian federal police have raided the residence of Rio de Janeiro's governor as part of a COVID-19 corruption probe targeting one of President Bolsonaro's political foes. I'm Mike Moss. President Trump targets Joe Biden for wearing a mask at a memorial yesterday. We get more from correspondent Bob Costantini.
With Joe and Jill